So are you ready for this? Someone sent us this YouTube link,
Huh.
and well, it's all in Chinese.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so not really my thing, but this is no ordinary video. Okay, this
No.
is like a whole drama series,
Okay.
and the story, it's got everything.
Really?
Oh yeah, family drama, betrayal, revenge, even some like cutting edge tech stuff.
Wow, that's quite a mix.
I know, right? And so you sent us the transcript,
Mm.
and we've been going through it,
Uh-huh.
and it is wild. It's a wild ride.
Okay, well, I'm intrigued.
So to break this all down for everyone, we're going to explain the plot, introduce these characters, and explore what makes this story so interesting.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
It's like we're taking a deep dive into another culture, but with like this added soap opera element.
Exactly. Okay, so let's set the scene right. We've got these two stepsisters, Shen Jianing and Shen Zhaozhao,
Okay.
and their past is a mess.
Okay.
More tangled than headphones after, they've been in your bag for like a week.
Oh, yeah, I know that feeling.
And it all goes back to their marriages.
Mm.
Yeah, and those marriages, they really set the tone for like the whole drama.
Mm-hmm.
So Shen Jianing, she seems to have it all right. She marries into this wealthy family, the Gu family.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Shen Zhaozhao, she's kind of forced into this marriage with Lin Feiyan, who everyone thinks is poor.
Okay.
So it's that classic setup, right? Appearances are everything, and wealth equals happiness.
Yeah, it really highlights those societal pressures, not just in China, but all over the world. It's like this focus on financial security, on looking successful. It's everywhere.
Totally.
It
But
goes-
here's the thing.
Oh.
Okay, Shen Jianing's picture-perfect marriage, it falls apart.
Oh.
Yeah, and fast. Her husband, Gu Jianzhao, he's totally checked out. Emotionally, at least. He's obsessed with his childhood sweetheart, Lu Qiyun.
Ouch.
I know, right? And then you've got Shen Zhaozhao, and she is eaten up with jealousy.
Makes sense.
Right. She thinks her sister has it all.
But she doesn't see the cracks.
Nope. And speaking of cracks, Shen Zhaozhao's husband, Lin Feiyan, he's not just some, poor guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his potential in the tech world is just explode.
Wow.
Especially when it comes to this revolutionary technology called the X chip. Suddenly, poor doesn't really fit anymore.
So this X chip, is it like a big deal in the story?
Huge.
Yeah.
It becomes this symbol of power and success. It's like the driving force behind a lot of the conflict.
I see. So it's not just about the characters, it's about this race for technology too.
Exactly. And there's this Professor Druman. He's a legend in the world of microchips.
Okay.
And he becomes a mentor to Lin Feiyan. So it makes you think, right, like how often do we judge people based on first impressions and we're totally wrong?
All the time. We get blinded by what we see on the surface,
Okay, so now things get messy.
Oh, boy.
Shen Zhaozhao,
Oh.
she's fueled by jealousy and resentment and decides it's payback time.
Payback.
Oh, yeah. And we're not talking about like, harmless pranks. This is full-on sabotage.
Wow. So what does she do?
She pulls out all the stops,
Yeah.
fake pregnancies, accusing Shen Jianing of cheating,
Mm.
even trying to get her committed. Seriously, it's like straight out of a soap opera.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is how the drama uses this, over-the-top stuff to explore the psychology of jealousy. It's like Shen Zhaozhao is so focused on bringing her sister down that she doesn't even realize she's destroying herself.
That's a good point. It's like revenge backfiring. Does seeking revenge ever actually make you feel better, or does it just cause more pain?
Exactly. And while all of this is going on, Lin Feiyan is working hard developing this X chip. It's like a reminder that real progress, it takes dedication and a lot of work.
And probably some luck too, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the technology. He's dealing with mentors like Professor Druman. He's dealing with pressure from becoming famous, and he's trying to protect his work from people who want to steal it.
So it's kind of like a classic underdog story.
Yeah, but with this modern twist.
Yeah.
We all face challenges. It's how we overcome them that matters.
I like that. And speaking of challenges, this drama is full of complicated relationships. They're always changing, always evolving. We've got love triangles, betrayals, moments of loyalty. It's a lot.
It really is. Like, take Shen Jianing and Gu Zhencheng. Their relationship starts out as this, transaction.
Transaction.
Yeah, driven by social pressure and wanting financial security. There's no love, no real connection.
Wow, that's pretty bleak.
It is. But then there are these hints that maybe Gu Zhencheng's feelings are changing. He starts to see Shen Jianing as more than just a trophy wife. He sees her strength, her intelligence.
So maybe there's hope for them?
Maybe. It's one of the things that keeps you hooked. And as the story goes on, things get even more complicated. You see how past hurts and misunderstandings, they shape the character's choices.
Interesting.
Yeah, it leads to heartbreak, but also to these unexpected moments of connection.
Like a puzzle. Each piece reveals a new part of the story.
Exactly. Okay, get ready, because things are about to go off the rails.
What do you mean?
Shen Jiajiao's schemes, they spiral out of control, and the consequences are huge. We're talking a dramatic climax that will leave you speechless.
No.
Oh yeah. It's like the drama is saying, hey, actions have consequences. And sometimes those consequences, they can't be undone.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat now.
Well, we're not going to spoil the ending for you, but
Yeah.
trust us, it's wild. It's like a roller coaster.
I can't wait to watch it.
It's one of those stories that really sticks with you. You know, that it makes you think about your own choices, your relationships, the impact we all have on each other.
So it's more than just a soap opera.
Way more.
Yeah.
It's a story about human nature and how we deal with the challenges life throws at us.
I like that. It sounds like there's a lot to unpack here.
Oh yeah, there's a lot more to talk about.
Yeah, it really makes you think about, how our own lives are kind of like that sometimes.
Right. And one thing this drama really gets into is ambition. It's like woven into every character's story.
Yeah, and it's interesting how it shows up differently for each of them. Like Lin Scion, his ambition comes from this passion for science. He
Yeah.
wants to make a difference with this X chip.
Right. But there's also this part of him that wants to prove himself.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like he spent years being dismissed as just the poor husband.
So now it's like he's showing everyone what he's capable of.
Exactly. And then there's Shen Jianing. At first, it seems like she just wants to climb the social ladder.
Right. But as the story goes on, you realize she wants more.
More like what?
Like she wants to build something meaningful. To step out of her stepsister's shadow.
Yeah.
And maybe even like honor her mother's legacy.
That's interesting. So it's like ambition isn't always a bad thing.
Right. It's more about like why you're ambitious.
Yeah.
The choices you make.
I see. And those choices can have consequences.
Totally. Like Shen Jianing's decision to marry into the Gu family.
Right. At first, it seems like a smart move.
Yeah. But it puts her in this loveless marriage.
And she's constantly having to prove herself.
Exactly. And it really highlights how messed up these transactional relationships can be.
Yeah, there's no real love there. No respect.
And it's so different from the relationship that develops between Shen Jianing and Lin Scion.
Oh, how so?
Well, it starts off rocky, but it grows into something real. Something based on shared experiences and understanding.
So even in a story full of betrayal, there's still room for genuine connection.
Yeah, it's kind of hopeful, right?
Definitely. And, one of the things that keeps you hooked is the dramatic irony.
Oh, yeah. What do you mean?
Like, we see Shen Jianing struggling in her marriage, feeling alone, and meanwhile, Shen Jiao is totally oblivious. She thinks money and status will make her happy.
It's painful to watch.
I know, right? It's that classic grass is always greener situation.
Yeah, Shen Jiaomi is so consumed by envy that she misses what's right in front of her.
And that envy just fuels her actions.
Right, her schemes get crazier, her lies get bigger. It's like watching a train wreck.
A slow-motion train wreck.
Exactly. One thing that struck me was how the drama blends the personal and professional lives of the characters.
Right. It feels very relatable, Like how our work and personal lives are so intertwined these days.
Totally. We see them wrestling with their priorities, making tough choices.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Like when Shen Jianing has to choose between loyalty to the Gu family business and supporting Lin Scion's research.
That's a tough one.
Right. And then there's Lin Scion, who gets so focused on his work that he neglects his loved ones.
Oh, yeah. He needs to find some balance.
Definitely. And that's where some of the big turning points in the story happen.
Like what?
Well, one that stands out is when Shen Jianing decides to expose Lu Qiyun's manipulations.
Oh, wow. That's risky.
It is, but it shows how strong she is.
Yeah, she's not going to be a victim.
And it's a turning point for her relationship with Gu Jincheng, too.
In what way?
He finally sees her for who she really is. Intelligent, strong, capable.
That's great. Another turning point that really got me was when Lin Scion collapses and ends up in the hospital.
Oh, yeah, that was intense.
It shows how much pressure he's under. All that ambition takes a toll.
And it makes him rethink what's important.
Yeah, and it also shows how ruthless his family is.
Right, they're willing to use him.
But then Shen Jianing steps up.
Yeah, she risks everything to help him.
That's true love right there.
It really deepens their connection.
Yeah.
And then there's that scene where Shen Jiajiao's plan to drug Lu Qiyun is exposed.
Oh, no.
I know, right? Talk about a climax.
What happens?
Well, her whole plan falls apart.
It's like what they say, what goes around comes around.
Exactly. The drama really shows how destructive betrayal and revenge can be.
That's like a cautionary tale.
Yeah, it makes you think about the choices you make and how they affect others. And speaking of choices, the drama also touches on some pretty heavy topics, like mental health and abuse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it doesn't shy away from the darker side of things.
Yeah.
Like that scene where Shen Jiaojiao tries to get Shen Jianing committed.
That's scary.
It is. And it shows how people can take advantage of someone who's vulnerable.
Yeah, and it makes you think about how we treat people with mental illness.
Exactly. And then there's the abuse in Shen Jiaojiao's marriage to Lin Xian.
Really?
Yeah, she manipulates him, belittles him, even gets violent.
That's awful.
It is. But it's important to show these things, you know.
Right. It's a reality for a lot of people.
And the drama doesn't glorify it. It shows how damaging it is.
And we even see hints of it in Gu Jincheng's behavior towards Shen Jianing.
Yeah, especially at the beginning.
Yeah.
He's possessive and controlling.
It's like a reminder that abuse can happen anywhere, even in seemingly perfect relationships.
So it's important to be aware of the signs.
And for others too.
Definitely. And I think it's really well done, you know?
What do you mean?
Like how they weave these sensitive topics into the story without being preachy or exploitative.
Yeah, it feels natural.
And it starts important conversations.
Right. It shows how storytelling can make us think about social issues.
Okay, so we've talked about ambition and revenge and love and betrayal and even some tough social issues. But there's one more thing we need to mention.
What's that?
The cultural insights. This drama gives you a glimpse into Chinese culture.
Oh, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Like the importance of family and the expectations placed on women.
It's like this underlying layer that adds depth to the story.
Well, I see. So, for example, Shen Jianing's decision to enter a transactional marriage is partly influenced by these cultural pressures.
Right, it's not just about her personal ambition. It's about meeting societal expectations.
And then there's Lin Xian, who's trying to balance his pursuit of science with his family's more traditional values.
Exactly. So even though the drama explores universal themes, it's also rooted in this specific cultural context.
And understanding that context helps us appreciate the story even more.
Right, it's like we're getting a window into another world, but we can still connect with the characters on a human level.
Yeah, that's the power of good storytelling.
Okay, so we've covered a lot here. Ambition, revenge, love, betrayal, cultural insights. But there's one question we haven't answered yet.
What's that?
What happens in the end?
The big question. But you know what? I think we should let people discover that for themselves.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil the ending.
But we can say this, it's a conclusion that stays with you. It makes you think about the choices we make and the consequences we face. And it shows how powerful hope and resilience can be.
And you know what else I really enjoyed? The humor.
Oh, yeah. There's some funny moments.
Even with all the drama and intensity, there are these bits of humor that lighten things up.
It's like a reminder that even in tough times, there's still room for laughter.
Like that scene where Shen Jianing pretends to be asleep while Gu Jincheng is admiring himself in the mirror.
Oh, yeah. That was funny.
Her inner monologue is hilarious, and it adds depth to their relationship.
Right. You see that even though their marriage started as a transaction, there's still potential for connection.
Exactly. The humor makes the whole experience more balanced and engaging.
Yeah, it's like a breath of fresh air.
Totally. And it helps us connect with the characters on a more personal level.
So overall, this drama sounds pretty amazing.
It really is. It's a great blend of drama, humor, cultural insights, and social commentary.
Said it all.
So here's what we've learned from our deep dive so far. Ambition can be a powerful force, but it needs to be guided by wisdom and compassion. Revenge is a dangerous path that rarely leads to happiness. Family dynamics are complicated, and even in the darkest of times, there's always hope.
And don't judge a book by its cover.
Right. The people who seem to have it all are often struggling the most, and those who are underestimated can surprise us with their strength.
It's like life, I guess.
It's been quite a journey exploring this drama, but there's still more to uncover. You know, it's funny, we started with this YouTube link, a drama that's like completely in another language.
I know, right?
And now here we are talking about ambition and betrayal and like Chinese culture. Who would have thought?
It just shows you the power of a good story, right?
Totally. It can connect people no matter what language they speak or where they come from.
Absolutely. It's those universal themes,
Yeah.
you know? Love, loss, ambition, wanting to connect with others. Those are things we all understand.
Exactly. And this drama, it takes those themes and makes them entertaining and makes you think.
Yeah, it's like a cultural exchange, but with a lot of drama thrown in.
Speaking of drama, before we let everyone go and watch this for themselves, I think we should talk about the female characters.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Both Shen Jianing and Shen Jiaojiao. They're both really strong women.
They really are. Even with all their flaws and bad choices, they still make a huge impact.
And they challenge those traditional gender roles in some pretty interesting ways.
Right, like Shin she doesn't let her marriage define her. She makes her own way in the business world.
And even Shen Jiaojiao, she's driven by jealousy, but she's also really smart and ambitious.
Exactly. It's refreshing to see female characters who are complicated and driven by their own desires.
Yeah, they're not perfect, but they're real.
They make mistakes, they get hurt, but they keep fighting for what they want.
And you can't help but root for them, even when they're doing things you don't agree with.
That's what good writing does, right? It makes you see the world from different points of view.
Totally. So if you're looking for a drama that's more than just entertainment, that gives you a look into another culture that has really interesting characters, and a story that will keep you guessing, this is the one to watch.
And hey, maybe you'll even learn a little Chinese along the way.
So before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this. This drama, it all comes down to choices.
Choices.
Yeah, each character, they reach these crossroads, and the path they choose it shapes their life. And sometimes it shapes the lives of the people around them, too.
It's like real life in a way. We all have to make tough choices.
Right, and even small choices can have big consequences.
So as you watch this drama, think about what you would do in their shoes.
Yeah. How far would you go to get what you want? To protect the people you love? To fight for justice?
It's something to think about even after the show is over.
And on that note, we'll let you go and experience this drama for yourself.
Enjoy the show.
And that's a wrap on this deep dive. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.